Welcome. Between Christmas and New Year, we visited family on the south coast of England. While we were there, we indulged in a bit of nostalgia, visiting boatyards we used to go to when we were younger. We'd like to take you along to see some of the places and boats that we've had over the years, and also compare the prices and facilities at these yards with the ones in North Wales.
In the early 1970s, this was Sparks Boatyard. The Marina didn't exist, and we spent a winter with my dad maintaining a Caprice 19 for a friend so we could use it over the summer. Later he built a 1824 from a hull and deck kit just to the right of this picture there. Sad to see that MDL have now taken over this marina and it's almost empty. The number of boats on the Hard is tiny. This is where we used to walk across at low tide along the channel to Sandy Point, where we would sail our Optimist or dig in the sand. You can see Hayling Island Sailing Club in the background there. And here we see the main channel exiting Chichester Harbour out to the channel. You have to go out well over a mile before you can turn towards the Isle of Wight, because there is a sandbar that keeps shifting further out. That's the lighthouse station you can see there. Here you can see just how fast that tide runs, at about 6 knots if I remember correctly, both in and out. Now we jump to Mengham Sailing Club. New building, but we joined here as a place to go to our boat, the 1824 by dinghy, but also to sail our Optimist, and I remember taking part in a junior week when I was about 11, I guess. All of that lovely stretch of water dries out completely, and so there is about a foot wide channel here at low tide. But at high tide it comes right up to the top of that slipway, and indeed you can see here that timber decking gets covered by water on a high spring tide. Low tide, nothing at all. You can see how the car park is still very popular for storing boats through the winter, but really they need to be bilge keelers because they are lifted out there at Coles Quay, and you need to have your own trailer to take them down to the dinghy park. That's Mill Rythe, which leads up to Wilson's Boatyard. We'll be going there in a second. This is the entrance to Mengham Sailing Club, Wilson's Boatyard on the left, and it's an area that was salt pans. Wilson's Boatyard is the first place we had our own boat, and here we had our Jaguar 21 on its trailer, and we launched it down their slipway ourselves behind our Citroen BX 1700 no turbo diesel engine. It was a nightmare. We had a mooring just over at the back here on Mill Rythe. This dries out completely. There is no water to be seen at all at low tide, but there you can see the original slipway that we used to launch our boat. The jetty is all new, didn't exist back then. You can see now that the yard is full of much larger boats than it used to be. Clearly MDL have priced themselves out of the market. Now a quick snap from Thornham Marina of a Jaguar 21, the same as our first cruising boat that Jane and I had. And then here we found a Hirondelle, the same design, a Mark 1 here, as we sailed from Chichester to Cornwall in our last video from 2002. You can see my reflection, but you can see inside there is a quarter berth on the port side and a toilet, dinette in the middle which makes double, and then 2 berths in the starboard hull. Now we jump to Thornham Marina, which is where we did that maintenance on the Hirondelle. Again, dries out completely at low tide, very much a home for catamarans, but we also saw the boatyard had a lot more other boats in it. Here's a Hirondelle, and next to it a Celt, the same as my uncle had and filmed us in our Hirondelle. This is now Chichester Harbour Marina, and that has something like 1,000 berths, absolutely enormous. Now we can see what Chichester Harbour's like at low tide. This is from Emsworth looking towards Hayling Island at that point. Again, no water. This is Emsworth itself. We sailed from there many times. We had a Laser 16 day boat. My parents ended up based there in the last couple of years of their lives, and my brother is close to here now. This isn't quite low tide, but that water disappears completely. But there's some beautiful mill ponds here, and they're used for kids learning to sail on Optimists, and also used for model yacht racing, I believe. Now we come to our little table, working out rough costs of keeping your boat ashore at these various places, ranging from £2.58 per metre per week at ABC Powermarine in Beaumaris, Anglesey, to £6.65 at Sparks MDL Marina on Hayling Island. It's now very obvious why people are not keeping their boat in Sparks, but moving up the quite challenging channel to Wilson's Boatyard, where they can save about £1,700 a year. So the difficulty of getting up that channel, although the Boatyard will escort you up there to help you find your way, is well worth it for that price saving. That means we are saving £2,400 a year by being fortunate enough to be able to keep our boat in Beaumaris. When you look at the facilities, Sparks, Thornham and Wilson's do have better toilets and showers than Beaumaris itself, but if, like us, you're members of the Northwest Venturers Yacht Club on the site, then we have much better showers, full galley, social events and so on. So overall that works out better. Also worth noting that at Beaumaris on Gallows Point there are a huge range of small businesses with GRP repairs, stainless steel work, etc, as well as a chandlery all on site. So we think it's a great place to be based. When it comes to having your boat afloat, the Sparks Marina will cost a fortune, £85.60 per metre per month. That means our mooring in the Menai Strait will cost about 2 weeks in the marina. We think that's fantastic value for the joy of being in a beautiful spot on your boat, with the only cost being the time to get out there in your dinghy.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, give us a thumbs up.